From WFRV Local 5, your local election headquarters. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Campaign season, it is here, and many Senate districts in our state are looking a little different these days. Senate District number 30 is going to have a new senator because State Senator Eric Wimberger is now running for the District 2 seat. The race for the new District 30 is between returnee to the political ring, Jamie Wall on the Democratic side, and for the Republicans, Alloway Village President Jim Rafter making a run for Madison. And joining us this morning is the aforementioned Jim Rafter. Jim, good to have you this morning.
Thank you, Tom.
For joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts and the politics of the campaign, the Jim Rafter story, the Rafter resume, if you will.
The Rafter resume. Well, myself and my family moved to the Green Bay area 20 years ago. My wife of 38 wonderful years, the lady of my dreams, Loretta, has been married to me for 38 years. We've raised 2 kids who are adults and of whom we are extremely proud. We moved here in 2005 and never looked back. We've fallen in love with the community. We didn't know that we would, but I'll tell you, the people of Wisconsin, the people of the greater Green Bay area, they welcomed us with open arms, and we just love it.
Where did you move here from?
Chicago.
From Chicago. Okay.
Don't hold that against me.
No.
I am a Packer fan.
Now you're officially one of us.
Yes.
So you've been here for all these years. What's so special about this district? What is it that kept you here?
It's the people.
Yeah.
When people come to visit, they say, why are people so nice? So it is the Green Bay way. The people here are extremely friendly. They're very welcoming, and they really love their community. And I think that speaks partly to the size of the community, but I also think it's just people are proud of being in Green Bay.
Sure.
The Packers, of course, but the culture here is one of pride. Sunday mornings you go to church and you see everyone in their Packer gear. You go to Festival Foods or another store and they're all wearing their Packer gear. So there's an excitement about the community. And over the last 20 years, it's changed quite a bit. It's grown up quite a bit. But it's growing up because that's what people are asking for.
Right. So
we're bringing the kinds of amenities that people want. And I couldn't imagine being anywhere else.
Jim, you're a professional past. For 40 years, you've worked on startups for some of the largest software companies in the nation. Tell me about that. How do you get into this software startup business? I mean, it's not something you would normally learn in college.
No.
Especially college for guys our age.
Right. It was an interesting journey. I started out as a computer programmer for the Chicago Police Department out of school. I did go to school for your job, but didn't go there. I ended up being a computer programmer.
You were smart.
And as part of that job, I developed relationships with software vendors. I was offered a job in the vendor world and started out in software engineering. Then I went into marketing, then product marketing, and then sales and sales management, and ended up working for some of the largest software companies in the country at the time, and then got an itch. And the itch was someone offered me a job with a startup to come and help build a business. I thought that sounded interesting, so I went for it. And it was a great experience. I've been part of several startups. And today I'm an entrepreneur here in Green Bay. I have a digital news service that just tries to keep our community closer together, and head up sales for a software company here.
And now that you're into local politics, Village Board, Alloway.
Yes, sir.
10 years, 8 of those years as a village president.
Yep.
What has that experience been like? I mean, what's the difference between being a board member and then the village president?
Being a board member is an important job, and Alloway happens to have an extremely great board, and we have ever since I've been on the board. Being a president, you're the cheerleader, right?
Okay.
Your job technically is to lead a meeting, but you're the cheerleader, and just as all of our trustees are. But I lead the effort, and push certain not agendas, but certain issues.
Sure.
And when things are important to the people of Alloway, certain programs, or if something's happening, they look to the village president to lead them through whatever that is. And I love doing that.
So here you go from the relative comfortable confines of Alloway politics, and
Yep.
now you're making that jump into state senate.
Yeah.
What was the trigger? Was there something, some event that happened that made you say, I'm going to run for state office rather than remain where I am?
There was, and I think there's
was.
several, quite honestly.
Okay.
During my time as village president, the reality is we can only do so much at a local level. And we rely to a great extent on the folks in Madison. So I've worked with a lot of folks in Madison in the legislature and different departments in Madison to get certain things through that impact Alloway. And I've developed great relationships on both the Democrat side and the Republican side with county government, local government. And I love bringing people together for a cause, right? Or to get something done. Sure. And over the last several years, people have asked me, so when are you going to run for a state office? And my answer was, I don't need to. We have good representation in this area. And right now, we're not going to have representation in this area because, as you mentioned, Eric Wimberger is going to the second. Rob Coles is retiring after 40 years of great service to our community, and Andre Jacques running for Congress. So I thought, you know what? This is the time. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of opportunity. And I've got the passion, the excitement, and the experience to do it.
We are going to find out a lot more about Jim Rafter right after this, Senate candidate, so please stay right there. We are back now with State Senate candidate Jim Rafter, who's running for State Senate District number 30. In the last segment, we talked about your leadership position in Alloway as village president.
Yeah.
What would you consider to be your biggest accomplishment in the president's chair?
That's a great question. The answer is, I'm very proud that shortly after I joined the board, the village of Alloway decided to put together a plan. And we're a small community, 14,000 people. We're bordered by Green Bay to the north, De Pere to the south, the Fox River to the west, and the East River to the east. Right. And so we have a need to generate more revenue. And the only way to traditionally do it is to start charging your current residents more money.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. So what we did was, in 2015, we did a corridor study. We invited our community in, and we wanted to find out, what do you want in the Alloway of a future? And the answers we got were, we want restaurants to eat in, we want pubs to go to hang around as community, we want retail, we want everything everyone else has. Alloway's kind of a bedroom community.
Right.
So we took that to heart. We then had a vision created that would create a new village center area along the Webster corridor, so Webster and St. Joseph on the north end of town. Mm-hmm. And my proudest accomplishment is we're actually executing that plan. So many communities or government entities love to do studies. Well, Alloway, I'm proud to say, we had a study, we created a vision, and now we're executing on that vision. So they wanted high density housing. We have several new developments that were redevelopment places. So we've brought in apartments, we're bringing in, we've brought in condos, we've brought in townhomes, because young people who are entering the workforce, they can't afford homes.
Right.
So how can they live in Alloway? Well, we have apartments now that they can live in. Senior citizens who've lived in Alloway forever want to stay in Alloway. The problem is there is nothing for them to downsize to.
Sure, yeah.
So we've developed condos, and we have other programs in place to do that. So we're going to create a little downtown where there was no downtown, and we're generating tens of millions of dollars in new tax revenue so that we don't have to put the burden of the additional taxes due to increased costs on the backs of our current taxpayers.
And what's still out there on the table that you want to accomplish? Or are all those things you just mentioned ongoing?
Those are ongoing.
Okay.
And there's a big project that we've been working on for years in Green Bay Correctional Institution and getting the state to close that. That is a tremendous economic development opportunity. The things we have to worry at local level is being able to provide the quality services that people in Alloway and other communities have come to enjoy, but doing so in a cost-effective way. We can't continue to add money to the budget and expect our taxpayers to pay for it. Alloway, it's another thing I'm proud of. Alloway has undertaken a continuous improvement mentality. So we always look at how are we doing things and can we do it better? And it's not just me as village president or the village board or even our administrator. We're asking our employees, what can we do better? You're the ones out there doing work every day. So how do we do things better? And we have found ways to save money while costs are skyrocketing.
All right, you're ahead of me on my questions.
Okay, sorry.
If and when, that's okay. If and when you are elected and you do go to Madison, will you bring the prison question to Madison?
Yes, sir.
What will you do with that question? What will be your goal?
After doing this for 9 years, working on GBCI, I've learned an awful lot. Yes, it's a tremendous opportunity for economic development, but it's also a problem in the DOC. The DOC needs help. So I hope to be able to engage with Republicans, with Democrats, with politicians, with the department heads, people who have been impacted by that system, whether they've been incarcerated or they're a family member of the incarcerated, or people in the community that are impacted. Bring all those voices together, as we have over the last couple of years, so that we can come together as one team, one Wisconsin, to get the job done and have people be proud of what we do.
We have much more to come, so please stay with us right there with Jim Rafter. Welcome back to Newsmaker Sunday. Our guest this morning, Jim Rafter, looking at the big jump from Alloway Village President to State Senate. Jim, as you well know, in Madison right now, it is loggerheads. It is gavel in, gavel out. Republicans especially have no love lost for this governor. It seems as though if it's your idea, it's a bad idea. Do you ever see the day coming where we can get together and reach across the aisle again, or is this Madison life forever?
I sure hope so, and I hope to be part of that. I hope to be part of that solution. As I said earlier, I've brought Democrats and Republicans together into one room on things that they would not agree on. Everyone using the prison as an example. But I've brought them together, and all you have to do is treat people with respect. People have different ideas. But I do believe everyone wants the same thing. They want a great Wisconsin. So if I'm lucky enough to be elected and serve as the senator of the 30th district, I will focus on the people. I will focus on the projects instead of focusing on the parties.
The Senate District number 30, it's a big one. You've got Alloway, Ashwaubenon, Bellevue, De Pere, most of Green Bay, a lot of territory. So what has been your campaign strategy? How have you been getting your word out?
Knocking on doors.
Is it? Yeah.
Knocking on doors. We're doing a lot of knocking on doors. We are going to events, picnics.
Sure.
Meeting an awful lot of nice people. Hearing that people are tired of politics.
Yeah, what are you hearing out there?
I am hearing first and foremost the cost of living. The cost of living is putting seniors in a bad place, and the cost of living is preventing young adults from entering the housing market. We have to be able to do something about that. Going to the grocery stores, everyone knows, is a whole lot more expensive today than it was a year ago. Yep. So that's what I'm hearing. I'm also hearing the public safety issue. There is a growing problem of opioid trafficking and human trafficking in this area. It's a quiet problem, but it's a problem. And if we want to maintain the quality of life that people have come to love about Green Bay and the state of Wisconsin, we have to address that. And I hope to be part of that problem or that solution as well.
Another issue that I know that you talked about is crime, public safety.
Yep.
Is that big of an issue in Alloway? What are we looking at here?
I call Alloway Mayberry, and
Yeah,
very
right.
nicely, right? I went on a ride along with our sheriff when I first started, and we just sat there. So,
Which is good.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
good. And coming from Chicago, Green Bay doesn't have anywhere near the problems that large cities do. But you can't sit and be complacent. We do have issues. Auto theft is up in the city of Green Bay dramatically. Like I said, the drugs, the human trafficking that you don't see, but those are risks and threats to our way of life. And just, we have to be able to do a better job. We have to educate people. We have to be able to give our police force the tools they need to go out and find out where are these drugs, how do we address them, how do we prevent them coming up from southern Wisconsin and Illinois. We are basically on a highway of delivery.
Right, we're easy.
Yep, and
Yeah.
we don't want it to stop here. We want it to leave here and not even come here. So that's a big thing. When people look to an area to move into, what are they looking at? They want a safe place to live. They want affordable housing. They want good communities. They want good schools. And we have to do that. The Green Bay school system's having big challenges, just like every school system is today. We have to help them do their job and make Green Bay and Alloway and the greater Green Bay area the place everyone wants to live.
If you do get elected, Jim, what's topic A? What's top of mind? Is there anything you want to go down there and say, I'm going to do this?
I said this 10 years ago when I ran for village trustee and 8 years ago when I ran for village president. I am going to listen to the people I serve. I do not go with any predetermined agenda except to make the greater Green Bay area and the state of Wisconsin the place where young adults want to start their careers, parents want to raise their children, and seniors want to retire. I just want it to be a good place to live, and I think I can do that.
We are back to wrap up with Jim Rafter right after this. So please stay right there. We are back now with Alloway Village President Jim Rafter, who is running for State Senate District 30. We have been into some heavy political topics for the past half hour. We're going to change gears here and ask about Allowinian beer. Alloway's village president talking about Allowinian beer. What is that?
Well, you asked me why I love Alloway. And I love Alloway because of the people who live there and the businesses that choose to open their doors there. And several years ago, right before the pandemic, Zambaldi Beer opened up in Alloway on Webster Avenue. We realized that when we're talking about building community, we were never known as anything. We were people who lived in Alloway. And so the village board passed a resolution officially identifying people who live and work in the village of Alloway as Allowinians. And some people laugh at it, just like you did, but some people like it. And when Zambaldi opened, we went to the owner, David Malcolm, and we said, David, would you like to brew a beer in honor of the people of Alloway? He said, I'd love it. We have to come up with a name. And I said, well, we just passed a resolution that people of Alloway are known as Allowinians. He goes, that's perfect. So it's a Belgian ale, and it changes. It's a different kind of Belgian ale about once every 6 months. It's a they're all delicious, so I encourage you to come on down and try one.
And Zambaldi's is very happy you came on the show this morning.
There you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to give them a commercial.
It's okay for the free ad. It's okay. With the time I have left, your campaign pitch, your elevator pitch as to why for State Senate District 30 that you are the person, Jim Rafter, to go to Madison on our behalf.
Over the last 10 years, I've served on the Village of Alloway board, and I absolutely love it. I love making a difference. I've told my kids forever, as long as you do something that's going to change the lives of others in a positive way, go do it. And that's how I've lived my life. So being part of Alloway and making a difference, as I believe I have over the last 10 years, and the leadership I've shown in getting people in Madison to do things they didn't want to do, even though I was a village president, I think that speaks volumes to my ability to get things done. Wisconsin's a beautiful place. It's a great place with great people, but we have some challenges ahead in terms of budget, being careful with our tax dollars, and building a place where people want to live.
And I'll finish up with the one question that I didn't ask you about the Allawinian beer.
Yes,
Everybody
sir.
wants to know, is it any good?
It's delicious. It's
and
delicious.
What, they change it up?
They change it up
Yeah.
every 6 months. Now, Zambaldi's isn't the only great brewery around. As you
true.
know, we have many, but you can only get the Allawinian there.
Allawinian beer. All right, Jim Raptor, thanks so very much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Tom.
Much appreciated. And if you have a newsmaker in your town who you think we should have on this program, let us know about it. Send us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com, or you can message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7:30. Until then, have a great day.